If you're leading people and growing yourself, it's very likely, and hopefully so, that you're very much involved in growing talent and growing your people and really helping people step into bigger roles for themselves. This is one of the greatest opportunities you have as a leader, and is also one of the greatest gifts that you can give to your people from a place of generosity and care and love and true spirit. Some of our deepest, most profound, heartfelt desires are to be told and to be seen by somebody who tells us that we can do things, that we can. We want to be told that we can. We also want to know that our life is meaningful. We want to know that we're connected to tribe. We want to be seen for who we are, and we want to be valued for what we're bringing into the world. To me, there's one of the best ways to do this is in the performance review process, and it's in the process of just having simple day-to-day conversations with the people that you're responsible for leading. And I might add, not even necessarily responsible for leading, but just other human beings. So I want you to think for a moment about what kind of a container you're holding for the people that are on your team. What kind of a container do you hold? What kind of space do you hold for the people that you're responsible for leading in terms of what they can do, what they're capable of, and what's possible? Just think about that. I've worked with business leaders over the years whose relationship to feedback and performance reviews and growing people really is often something that is scary, something to be avoided, something that they have a lot of nerves around, and something that really happens from the top down and is often done just as a formality. What's being missed here is the amazing opportunity we have to truly connect with other human beings and to grow them from a very, very beautiful place. What's needed here is intention, energy, and presence. It's understandable. Often we're all so busy that we just have to get things done. In the world of multitasking and all the amazing opportunities we have now, it's really, really easy to take some of these tasks, to check them off the list every year, and to not really put the energy and intention that needs to go in them. And what this ends up doing is it results in people feeling like their performance reviews are done to them, and then they end up doing it, putting it in a file, and never looking at it again. I had a discussion with somebody a couple weeks ago who shared with me that they do their reviews once a year, and they do them as a formality. They tell the employee what they're going to do. They tell the employee how they did this last year and what's next for them. They have the employee sign it, and then they're done. And they wonder why employee engagement is so low and why people aren't more excited about their jobs. The solution here is very, very simple. The solution is to bring more IEP and TLC into the performance review equation. That's it. If you truly want to make growth a collaborative process and something that your employees are excited about and take ownership for and are set up to succeed, then we want to add that IEP component into it. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how to do that. First, don't make feedback and annual reviews an annual thing. Sure, be compliant with your organization and whatever rules you guys have set up. But more importantly, do that annual review if you must, but then make regular conversations with your employees a part of your everyday life. Quarterly check-ins around what you guys have set up for a performance review, that would be lovely. Daily feedback in the moment. The more you can give people feedback and tie them back to what they're trying to do with their career and who they're becoming, the more you can do that, the more powerful that conversation is going to be, and the less intimidating that conversation is going to be. Do feedback consistently. Do it for the good stuff and for the constructive stuff. Make it just a part of your regular drumbeat, a part of your everyday conversation. It does not have to be scary. It can be a huge gift. Notice the IEP that you hold. Notice the relationship that you have around giving feedback and performance reviews. Because I promise you, if you're intimidated by them and you're bringing that energy into it, or you're bringing the energy in that it's difficult or hard or it's just a to-do, your employee is feeling that and they're going to respond to that. Here's the IEP rub. You can do these performance reviews beautifully. You can do feedback beautifully. You can do everything absolutely beautifully. But if your intention, your energy, and your presence that you're bringing into that conversation and into that experience, if your IEP is not in alignment and in service of and is something that's coming from a place of care and contribution, you're leaving a huge amount of impact on the table, and more often than not, you might actually be doing damage. So how would you be doing damage? Think about that one. I want you to think for yourself how you interact with the feedback process and performance reviews. And think about what are the things that you do that contribute to that experience versus actually take away from it. So things in my experience that damage the performance and feedback review process is 1, rushing through it. 2, just simply not being present. 3, bringing an energy of blame or aggravation or just unconsciousness to that meeting. 4, not being prepared, not actually doing your pre-work ahead of time and really thinking about this person. 5, not holding a tight container for the conversation. The quality of the container that you create for an employee or for a peer when you're in this kind of conversation, the quality of that container is what will make or break their experience in that moment. When I talk about container, I'm talking about your level of presence. I'm talking about the way that you see them. I'm talking about what you see as possible for them, and you coming to that with the energy and intention of this person is amazing and you're here to support them. Before you go into any performance review process or any kind of conversation where you're helping another human being grow, you want to make sure that you do your work. So on our IEP resources platform, I've included a list of really, really great questions for performance reviews that are not only for you, but that are for your employee. So ideally what I like to see is I like to see both the business leader and the employee take those questions and think through them ahead of time and really put heart and soul into it. And then you guys come together and you could sit down and have a very, very fruitful conversation. So you can find those questions on our IEP platform. In the meantime, the 3 things that you want to be doing no matter what, and I would say this for any employee that you have, even if you're not in the middle of a review, is really looking at 1, what can you acknowledge about this person? Who are they becoming? What have they done? What is amazing about them? You want to be looking through the lens of what you can acknowledge about this person. Not just what they did, but who they're becoming. Number 2, what do you see as possible for them? This is solid gold. This is one of the things that could be your highest leverage leadership skill. What do you see as possible for the people that you lead? If you hold that your employee or your colleague or whoever, if you hold that they're capable of doing a lot more, they will step into that. If you hold that they can't do anything or you're really just not conscious to what they can do, they're going to step into that. So be really conscious about what you see as possible for your employees. And number 3 is what do you see will help get them there? What do they need to do to get there? What are their edges? What are the things that they're really good at doing that are going to help accelerate them towards that long-term goal? What are the things that you see that they're doing that are actually just getting in their way right now and maybe need a little bit of tweaking and support? So acknowledge them, hold that positive intent for what they're capable of, and then help them get there. Now here's the rub. You want to get their buy-in on this. This is not about sitting down and telling and doing review to somebody. This is about an interactive, caring, even loving conversation in which you guys sit together in partnership and really design, what does this employee want? Where do they want to be a year from now? What do they need support with? What kind of impact do they want to have? And the more you can tap into that with what they want, the more ownership they're going to have. And then you guys get to create your review, you get to create your annual plan, you get to create your map. But you've got to have the IEP and you have to have the employee partnership in order to make this happen. All of this conversation is an open structure. It's open dialogue. There's no right way to do it. The right way to do it is the way that is present and authentic. What counts most here is your intention. It's the quality of the container that you hold for this person. It's the energy and the presence that you bring into the room. And it is the co-design of the 2 of you sitting down together to make this thing a reality. And then of course there's the follow through. You got to follow through. This is all an opportunity for you to have a deep, meaningful conversation with another human being and to really co-design with them what kind of impact they want to have in the world. If you provide the safety and the space and the calling for them to step into, then not only will they get to access more of their humanness this next year, but their brilliance as well. Your power and influence as a leader is highly dependent on the size of the container you can hold for them, as well as the quality of intention. It's dependent on what you can see in them, who you can see them becoming, and how well you as a leader can enroll and inspire them to step into that next place for themselves.